up by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Now, who's taking the stand?
It is it's O, and going under the spotlight here, up in the stand, been sworn in. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And I only get one pass, and I get to boomerang one of the questions that I answered back. So the first one, we go in clockwise.
It's your boy.
Rolando.
All right, Orlando. So I was watching your socials this weekend, and you were getting your dance dad on.
Yeah.
And it seems to be a common occurrence in your life. So my question is, if your daughters were to come to you together and they said that they decided that they want to quit dance and they want to pursue a newfound love for music, songwriting, singing, etc. Knowing what you know about the music industry, would you be as supportive as you are with their dance ambitions?
I would. Their mom would kill them.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd chop them up dead.
Oh, really?
Oh, stuff them in the mattress like drug money. they would leave this world because she knows she presses them because she knows that they love it and they're doing well at it, and she sees a good outcome of it. So she's like, she goes hard for it. I have openly said, when we were arguing about the homeschool thing, I told her, I said, you know what my job is? My job is, if you say, hey, Daddy, tomorrow, I don't want to dance no more. I just want to play dodgeball and learn how to play the banjo. I'm like, you know what my job is? And my daughter's like, what? I'm like, my job is to find you a dodgeball league and buy you a banjo. I was like, because I need to support whatever it is that you want to do. So if they didn't want to do it anymore, that's cool. But I see them as loving it now, and they're getting good at it. And good at that discipline at it. Yeah. So I'm not gonna be one of the people to force my kids to have a job. I've never wanted to be that, but I do think that if they do stay with this and still study, because whether it's Misty Copeland, whether it's any of the type of like Simone Bowles, Biles or whatever name it. All those young athletes that were still studious, I think that those are the people that I want them to follow. So long as they learning and getting it in, I love it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, you next.
Okay, Orlando. You've been working radio for a long time, and you've had a lot of different gigs, remotes, whatever, a lot of club gigs that you've hosted. Have you ever had sex and hooked up at a nightclub that you were working at that night?
Have I ever had sex at a club that I was working at?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Club Park Avenue.
Ooh.
Bullwinkles. Full Moon Saloon. Pleasure Dome. Platforms.
Wow.
Where?
That's an impressive list.
Club Excess.
Okay.
La Cueva.
Oh,
was that Spanish night? Yeah.
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 The list goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, I told people when you talk about when Wild started, the fact that cell phones and social media wasn't popping was probably a gift and a curse. Mm-hmm. We could have had the greatest reality show ever by showing what happened in these halls and while we were on the streets. But also, we had definitely not had jobs long. We wouldn't have. There used to be a camera in the studio, like a voyeur dorm type thing. You used to be able to log on the website and watch what was happening in the studio because stuff was always happening in the studio.
Right.
We would definitely not have our jobs if it was documented. it just is what it is. Now, I got better, got married, did all this other stuff, and, had kids and stuff there. But, yeah. Back in the day, it was crazy.
I thought you were going to plead the fifth.
I'm holding on to it because I'm thinking y'all going to ask me something I really can't answer. So I'm going to hold on to that plea. What you got?
Well.
All right. Well, let me.
I didn't know when to say anything, but my mic wasn't on this entire show. I was like, is he doing this on purpose? Or
I'm sorry. My bad, Buck Nasty. What's up, man?
All right. So disrespected. All right, Orlando, so what was your last sex dream, and who was it about?
Wow.
What? Really?
You still get sexy dreams.
I mean, geez. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't want to use my plead. Now I got to go to the audience, and I know what they're going to ask. My last sex dream that I had, man, who was it? I don't even remember, to tell you the truth. The last sex dream that I had, these are random.
You don't get them often.
Not that you remember them. Who remembers their dream after like that day? I don't remember who was.
Yeah, sometimes you think about it later that day. Like, that was a good dream.
I don't know, and I don't want to use my. You know what? I've had a dream about. I've had a Halle Berry dream that was recurring because of that whole Monsters Ball thing about make me feel good. Mm-hmm. I've had that one. That's been recurring. That was the last one, though. I don't remember who the last one was. Probably Nikki Benz.
Oh,
that's good.
Probably Nikki, which is weird because me and Nikki don't have like that. We have a good friendship, but because I see her all the time on her posts, they're sexual posts that she posts up. I've never seen her in a sexual space. I've only seen her as the drunk friend,
parties,
clowning you all the time. Like there's nothing there, but that would probably be like one of the last ones.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I bet she's in a lot of dreams.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. All right, 888-429-0941. We have 3 that is coming from the audience. I still get to boomerang one back, too. All right, towards the room. Plead the Fifth, second half, coming up next. Hold on. All right, it's the Freak Show. Plead the Fifth going on every Monday. And...
Turn my mic on, man.
Yo, man, I got you, homie. All right, so we got the questions that have been answered so far. If my daughters decided not to dance, would I bug out? Which was no. Meredith wanted to know if I've ever had sex in the club while working, or at work, I should say. Yeah. And who was the last person that I had a sex dream about? Probably Nikki Benz. That was probably it. All right, so I still got my boomerang to use and still got my plead. We got calls and texts that are coming in. 888-429-0941. What y'all want first?
I got a text right here.
Okay.
Interested to know what your topic or your take on this is. Rob asks, Orlando, what is the worst beating you ever took and why? What was the worst beating you ever gave and why?
Ooh.
Beating like parent beating? Or like get my butt whooped somewhere.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Okay.
A whooping.
My worst whooping, beating. I don't like to say beating. My worst whooping that I got was when my dad felt disrespected that he signed me up. My dad always was doing the most. I asked for a drum machine because I wanted to make beats because I wanted to rap. Everybody wanted to rap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My dad saw a drum machine. Santa Claus brought me a Slingerland 5-piece Pearl drum set and signed me up for 2 years of drums with Irv Bates, who is a jazz great.
Wow.
I ain't asked for that. I came downstairs, under the tree was a 5-piece white drum set.
Ooh.
And I'm like, what's this? He's like, yeah, you got, and I was playing the drums in the band. So I already knew how to play the drums, but I didn't know how to play a 5-piece drum set. I wanted a little bitty mechanical thing called Synsonic drums that I could do that. And he signed me up. And so this jazz great, Irv Bates, is waiting for me on the first Wednesday after Christmas to take my drum lessons, and I'm out sledding with my friends in the snow in the Indiana sand dunes in the snow. We sledding all day. I come home frozen. My dad's looking at me so mad. I'm like, what is his problem? He's like, where were you supposed to be today? Where have you been? I was like, I've been sledding all day, Dad. It was awesome. And he's like, boy, you know where you were supposed to be. You got drum lessons. I'm like, oh, Dad, it's Christmas break. My father told because he was embarrassed that I embarrassed him, and he took it out on me and whooped me so bad. And the worst part is I was frozen from all of the sledding. So I didn't even feel it. I just heard it.
Yeah.
Bitch behind me. Pow! I was like, damn, he killing me. And my mom was freaked out. It was nuts. But yeah, that was the worst whooping I ever got. The worst one I gave, Probably when my daughter she scribbled all over the wall. and I had to I had to wrap her legs a little bit and give her a little
That
whooping.
she ain't do it again.
Oh no, she ain't do that. No. Nah.
She learned that
She
day.
saw that white wall and was like, "Oh, this is like a dry erase board." I'm like, "No." So we had to nip that in the bud. That's what that was. Yeah.
I got one for you.
What?
This is a follow-up question from one earlier. Was your kid's mother one of those girls you met and hooked up in the club?
No. I met Jen at the. She was on the sideline at the Bucks game on the Redskins side. She's a big Redskins fan, and one of her good friends was a team photographer. So every time they came to town, she got a pass to come and be down there
On the field?
On the field. I was on. Now this was pre 9/11.
Wow.
So I'm on the field. She's on the field. I mean, that was back when we had the Bucks broadcast, so everybody had a pass from Tom Rivers. it was like a parade down there. And I walked past her in the tunnel, and she was checking me out, and I was checking her out. I was like, I know that's a player's girl. That got to be a player's girl. And she was looking at me like, that is the most out of shape football player I have ever seen. So yeah, that's what that was. But I was dating somebody at the time.
Oh, okay. So it didn't happen right then.
So it didn't happen that day, but I saw her later, like in the mall, and then we linked up after that on MySpace.
On MySpace, look at that.
Yeah.
Smooth.
She joined my top 8. All right, let's see here. We got one more. What we got?
Orlando, now that Mark is weeks removed from the freak show, what are your feelings towards his approach now versus the initial shock of when it was happening? Do you care, not care? Does it matter? Have you found a replacement? Are you looking?
We haven't started looking yet. I mean, Buck's in here, like Buck's in here applying all the time. But I mean, the thing is, I mean, what was the first part of the question?
Now that he's weeks removed from the freak show, what are your feelings towards his approach now versus the initial shock of when it was happening? Do you care, not care? Doesn't matter.
I mean, no, I want to see him win. Is it still the same? It's still the same. Like, I didn't like how it went down, but I understood it. Cause I mean, Mark is Mark. Mark's, if you argue with brothers or sisters like family, you know who they are. And Mark has always been that. We've seen him do it to people who he would bring in the circle that we liked, and then they get voted off the island just as fast. So he's that kind of person. So I can't really pull him off his square. That's who he is. So I was more like disappointed that it went down that way. But it's not like we see him every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we ain't mean mugging each other in the hallway like I talked to another day. So, it's still fam. He posted up a quote thing to his mom, I'm liking that. Like, cause it's like, that's what we, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do. So I'm not mad. I'm not bitter about it or whatever. I mean, cause the thing is, and I had to explain this to one of the higher ups because they was like, you guys went in on them. Do you guys think you were mean? And I was like, not at all. I said, I think it's our responsibility to share it with the audience, even though some people feel differently. I just think that, I don't want to be wearing the stink every time somebody disappeared. They're like, yo, who'd you fire now? I'm like, yo, I didn't fire him. I'm like, he dipped. He wanted to go do something else. I mean, and who am I going to stand back and not let him do it? I'm like, sure, go ahead. Because ultimately I was asked, could he try out? But I just wasn't asked by him. Mm-hmm. So it was like, yo, I greenlit it and said, go do it because I want to make sure he's happy. But I just wish we could have given him when people retire and you get able to give them love and people to call up and say, yo, man, good luck and everything. So there are people who really, feeling them. So yeah. So that was that. But ain't no love loss or whatever.
We see him every day in the hallways.
Yeah, for real. I mean, he's still parking in my parking space. I'm gonna get him for that. So that's it. All right. So that was the 3.
Yes.
That was it. Right. I made it through.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
All right. Wait. But you got somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. Wait. All right. Well, let me see. All right. Hey. What's up, Justin?
Hey, how you doing, O?
What up, man? I didn't see you out here on the line, man. You got a question?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to know, what is the best and worst wild splash you've ever been to?
The best one, was when we had the Marleys. And the Marley family did the whole show. We had Stephen Marley and every other Marley came. We were like, yo, y'all all had. So I was up on a cherry picker, about 100, 200 feet up above the thing. And he started doing Redemption Song. And everybody had their lighters up. It was absolutely dope. That was crazy. The worst one was probably when we had the Roots. And when we had with Lil Wayne, and because of, if you ever been to Wild Splash, the front of Wild Splash is all the kids that want to be there and wedged up against the front.
Yeah.
And they were so excited to see Lil Wayne that Wild Roots was given the most prolific performance we have ever seen. About 2,000 kids started chanting in the middle of their song, Weezy, Weezy, Weezy. And I was crushed. I was like, oh, my God. They're going to be like, y'all suck.
Yeah.
And Questlove, the drummer for the Roots, walked off stage, and he was like, man, that's our people, man. He's like, with this Cribs mentality, if they knew what we owned or if we wore it around our neck, they would respect us. But because we just musicians for Philly, they wanted to just get on to the homie Wayne. So Wayne walked up and gave him love and was like, yo, that was disrespectful, man. And they were like, nah, man, get out there and get the kids what they want. And then they hung out and watched Wayne, and they loved it, but they were disrespected, and I felt like embarrassed at that. That was the one time that I felt embarrassed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's my story, man. Justin, I'm sorry to make you wait so long, homie.
No worries, man. I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, you too, bro. All right, yeah, I had to slide him in there.
Yeah,
so,
that's sweet of you.
All right, and I'm pretty sure everybody's like, hey, what's up with Wild Splash? Who's coming? And I'm like, hey, guess what? I got
I plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right, it's a wrap.